Hi there, and welcome to Badly Written Online News number 5 on the 18th of May. Okay, so last week, what was the big news? This was the big headline, I think. No summer cliff edge for 7.5 million workers. Okay, 7.5 million workers, that's about 25% of the British workforce, are furloughed, and that means they were getting paid for not working because the economy has crashed because of coronavirus. And the chancellor, this guy here, this guy here, said that he would carry this on until October. This is massive news. This means that people can have the security of knowing that they're going to get paid for the week and know that they can get through the summer. So from my point of view, got a point right here. From my point of view, this guy has managed the economics of the economy, the money of the economy, by helping people out with furloughing them, carrying on with the public sector, and giving help to small businesses. So that's kept the economy working. So I think, to be fair, he's done quite a good job. The other news this week, of course, is from this guy, the Prime Minister, who I don't think had a good week, and I don't think he's had a good coronavirus because of various factors. Number one, he didn't lock down in time. Number two, infections went into hospitals. Number three, they went from hospitals into care homes because the government, they didn't test people enough and they didn't stop them doing that. And he, this week in Parliament, was asked why he didn't do that, and he said, yes, we did. In actual fact, they found documents to show the government didn't. So the crisis in this country, which is now we're now worse than anywhere else in Europe, is because we didn't lock down soon enough, we didn't test, and then we moved the problem from hospitals into care homes. And interestingly, the government, which again I think is really poor, I don't care which political persuasion you are, stopped showing the graph, which did international comparisons last week. Every day they did it, and then suddenly when Britain became the worst in Britain, this guy, Boris, took it off, or the people who advise him. That's dishonest and that's wrong. So, in my view, this guy, economy, trying to get the pointing right, this guy, the economy, has kept it going. Be interesting to see who he asks to pay the money back. This guy, no big marks. On a positive note, I think you should all be aware that Denmark this week and Italy this week are beginning to open up cafes and bars. Those two countries have had better measures than probably we did. So it's been politically an interesting week, as it always is. Okay, it's also been an interesting week for another criticism that's been levelled at the government by this guy, Andy Burnham. He's the mayor of Manchester, and this guy is Dan Jarvis. He's the mayor of South Yorkshire. And the interesting thing about these two guys is they both represent areas outside of London. And one of the criticisms that Andy Burnham made was that the decision making about when places should open up and when places should close should be based in coronavirus. It should be based on local knowledge and local statistics. For example, in Sheffield, where we've got Dan Jarvis, the figure is that we're just under 1 for 1. We're quite close to the infection carrying on. So if London said, for example, our rate's safe now, we think we should open up London, it may not be the case in Sheffield and Manchester. So these guys are saying, if you want to devolve power means give power to the north, Manchester, Sheffield, Liverpool, and so on, then you should allow us to make that decision. Now, Andy has got the powers. Dan hasn't got the powers yet, but any day soon, in the next couple of months, Sheffield, Barnsley, Doncaster, he will have a lot more power. He'll have the power that Andy's got. He'll have a budget, and the government will give him the budget, and he can make bigger decisions. So that's part of moving power away from London up north, and which I think, and you probably will agree, is probably a good idea. In this country, we've got one of the most centralised power regimes in Europe, Other places like Germany and so on have a lot more power outside in the state, in the regions, as does the USA, to be fair. Okay, so my next topic is artificial intelligence and automation, robots. Are they going to take over the world? Are they going to take all the jobs? Well, 6 in 10 jobs, tasks in jobs are threatened. Teachers, certain aspects of teachers' jobs, but teachers are safe because of the fact that people will always want that interaction between them and a teacher to ask their own questions and so on and so forth. Certain jobs, like you can see here, can be automated, and that will lead to some job changes. So one of the things I've been talking about the last few weeks is the future. Now, we're going to have a recession after the coronavirus lockdown ends, and the debate is whether it'll be V, it'll go down and then straight back up again, or up again, or whether it'll be more of a U shape. In other words, it'll stay down and go up and then go up take longer for the economy to recover. Does it make a difference to young people? Yes, it does. Because, for example, this week, companies, 30% of companies have said that they're not going to take on apprentices, and 12% of companies have said they're not going to take on graduates. So young people, as I predicted the last couple of weeks, are going to suffer more from this recession because companies are going to wait until it picks up before they employ young people. So the question is, what will the government do to help that? Will they give some short-term measures? Will they encourage companies to have them by giving them financial incentives? And the second thing is, some companies will start to automate and bring in more robotics and bring in more artificial intelligence. What will that mean for you? Well, it will mean you've got to adapt. And let's have a think now, briefly, about the jobs that are going to improve in the future. There are going to be data handling jobs, big data, big algorithms and decisions about what you do with that data. There's going to be science, biotechnology. There's going to be actually the building of the robots and the designing of the artificial intelligence. So that's going to happen. Education is going to grow. The more technically enabled we become, the more people it will require in education, and your IT skills are going to have to improve. At college, where I work, we're looking at doing 50% potentially of the work that we do online. That will be work you'll do online, your teacher will set you, and then you'll get an opportunity one-to-one or in small groups to have a chat to your teacher. Surely that's got to be a pretty good way of learning. It's flexible, fits in with earlier stuff to do with the Khan Academy, where you can have time to think and work in your own time, and then you get that one-to-one help. But that will change it. You can meet to discuss. Other areas, we haven't got enough houses. We're going to have to build houses. You'll need to move the materials around to build those houses. And again, the logistics and the moving, and you move that there and so on, will be a job. Entertainment, always a big employer, especially for young people. And there are going to be new entertainment funds. The Bundesliga opened up again this week. In the future, they're looking at esports. The gamers playing the gamers is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so that's something for the future that I'm aware of and not familiar with. Then you've got your restaurants and your pubs and so on, which machines can't take that away. You go to your local pub, your local restaurant for an interaction with people, and the people at front of house are important to that. And then we've got care. We've got the care for the elderly people. We've got an aging population, which means the people who were born just after the war and the baby boom are now retiring, and they need a lot of looking after. You've got looking after the rich. Rich people have people who look after their gardens and who look after their health and who develop things for them. There's a big care industry around the rich, and there's generally people's health, well-being, fitness training. Mental health is a big issue, so people will need support for that one. So that's going to be a growth area. So there's 4 areas there: data, science and education, building houses and moving materials, entertainment and care for the elderly, the rich, and for people's mental health. I've put them together based on the research I've done for this. So what skills do you need? And this is the last bit of this video. What will be the skills that you will need for the future? Okay, skills for the future. What skills do you need to develop to be employable in the future? These are always, for those of you doing spellings, these are also the spellings you'll need to do. So I'll go through them, and then I'll do a quick stop and just read them out to you at the end. And those of you who don't want to do the spellings, then obviously you'll disappear off. Collaboration is clearly one of them, and curiosity is clearly one of them. Collaboration, because machines can't collaborate as effectively as humans can collaborate with each other. The collaboration means working together, and working together, people produce a lot more. Machines aren't curious. They will go on what's gone before. They won't go, oh, I wonder if I try this one, I want to try that. Yeah, but you can get them to look at that, but it would have been a human who would have told them to look at that in the first place. So, and the third thing that they're not is they're not creative. They go on what's gone before. And so someone thinking, do you know what, with a lot of the jobs that are going to be in the future, we don't even know exist. People are going to invent new jobs, like TikTok's just come out. It's quite a big app, isn't it? Slightly different play on other apps, but that was, nobody knew that that was going to be one of the biggest selling apps recently. So you've got creativity, you've got critical thinking, and you've got curious. Okay, they're three. How you think. Then you've got how you work in teams. And that would be your people management, your negotiation skills, your coordination, how do you coordinate people together, and your collaboration, okay? How good are you at collaborating, keep pointing the wrong way, collaborating with other people. And finally, you've got, to me, the biggest single skill for teachers and students. That's your people skills, how people feel about you, how you are with your relationships, how you are with empathy. Empathy means putting yourself in other people's shoes. What's your emotional intelligence like? Can you read a situation? And finally, how do you translate that into a service orientation, your customer service skills? So there are your 10 words. I'm now going to pause the video. I'm going to come back and read out the words again without the background on it at the moment. And then that will be the end of the video. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've been messing around on Zoom with some different backgrounds. Give me some feedback, and thanks for listening. Okay, so here we are for the last bit, the spelling errors, which is what badly written news when it was offline was all about. And now when it's online, we read them out and we have a go, and then the answers to the spellings will be posted on TED. So here are your 10 words, okay? Word number one, creative. These are the skills for the future. We talked about these earlier. Number two, critical thinking. So you've got creative, number one, critical thinking, number two, curious, number three. They say curiosity killed the cat. Number four is people management. People management. Number five is negotiation. Negotiation. Number six is coordination. Coordination. Number seven is collaboration. Collaboration. Number eight is relationship and empathy. Number eight is relationship and empathy. Number nine is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. They have IQ, that's your intelligence quota. Emotional quota is how well you read other people, and you can change how you say and adapt your personality to how you are to a certain situation. And the final one is service orientation. Service orientation. That's number 10. That's like customer service. Right, I hope you've enjoyed it. I've learned how to put all these images on the back now, so hopefully it'll be a bit more visually pleasing. I haven't checked the time, probably be a bit longer than I want, but they're getting shorter, and I'll see you next week. All of this will be posted on TED, which will be tomorrow by the time I finish that. Okay, thank you.